Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nurfadila. Today I would like to talking about one of the issues in psycholinguistics. So the issues that I want to talking is language disorder for people with aphasia. Next, there are two subtopics that I will discuss. There are concept of psycholinguistic and language disorder for people with aphasia. So before we talking about aphasia, we have to know first the concept of psycholinguistic. So psycholinguistic is a science that discuss how psychological and neurobiological factors can influence a language. Psycholinguistic focus on three things. There are comprehension, that's how people understand a spoken and written language. The second one is speech production, that's how people produce language. And the last one is acquisition, that's how people learn language. One of the example issues there is really common in psycholinguistics is aphasia. Aphasia itself is not a disease, but a sign that there are irregularities in the brain, that the brain is damaged in the part that is responsible for language and communication process, which are generally located in the left hemisphere of the brain. Aphasia itself is a communication disorder that causes a person to experience language difficulties. People with aphasia often make a mistake in understanding and conveying a sentence or word. The choice of words that are arranged and conveyed is often not in accordance with what is intended by aphasia sufferers themselves. Next, there are quite a number of causes for damage to the brain that can trigger aphasia. One of the most common is stroke. When a person has a stroke, there is no blood flows to the brain, which cause damage or even paralysis of brain cell, and most stroke sufferers will experience aphasia. Other causes that often occur that can trigger aphasia include injury to the brain, blockage or rupture blood vessels in the brain, brain tumors, infections, and others. Temporary aphasia can also occur due to migraine, seizures, and minor stroke. So, according to the concept of psycholinguistic, aphasia is experienced due to neurobiological damage, namely the study of the brain and its nerve, so that the concept of aphasia is due to damage to the brain, which is responsible for language and a communication process, which are generally in the left brain, so that suffers aphasia cannot understand a language well, cannot express it, and experience error in both spoken and written aspect of language. Next, like we all know, all of the aspect of biology of language must be complemented by and integrated with a psycholinguistic study of how language is actually used as we speak and understand. According from ebook that has title An Introduction to Language and Linguistics that written by Rolf Fessel, biology of language also tend to explain the higher levels of aspect of language. For example, the interrelated aspect of language, such as lexical processing and syntax, clearly have implication for the structures uh, of language. A broad and independent language of the brain and its role in other cognitive function will likely lead to the new prediction about language. So you can see there's the pictures. The picture is what we call cerebrum. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and the most important for cognitive functions. The cerebrum is located above the brainstem and is the largest part of the human brain. This section is responsible for all intellectual activities such as the brain to think, to remember, and activities such as the cerebrum itself divided into two, namely left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. The right and the right and left brain divided into four sections. That's what we call lobes. There are frontal lobes, temporal lobes, parietal lobes, and occipital lobes. These the pictures of our left side of brain. When I'm showing the pictures of the brain, like I explained before, aphasia is a disorder caused by damage to the brain, which function in language and communication skill. Usually, disability in the left side of our brain. Left side function in matter related to the ability to regulate language, writing skill, reading skill, and speaking skill. This part of the brain is often connected with logical think, facts, a number, and analysis. If the left side of our brain is injured, speech and movement in general will be affected. This can be observed in someone who has a left hemisphere damage, such as a stroke, which often causes difficulty in language production, or what we call aphasia. There are several types of aphasia, such as Broca aphasia and Wernicke aphasia. You can see there is a Broca aphasia, Broca area, and Wernicke area. Broca area is the part of human brain that is located in the frontal lobes of cerebral cortex. This area play roles in language process as well as speaking ability and understanding. The Broca area is adjacent to the Wernicke area. Both are found in only one hemisphere of the brain. Um, in general, people with Broca in in general, people with Broca aphasia uh, prevent a person from forming clear word or synthesis, but they still can understand what the other people talking about. Oftentimes, people with aphasia feel frustrated that they can't put their thought into words. Some people with aphasia can say a few words, while chronic aphasia sufferers cannot understand other people or even themselves when they speak. Their speech cannot understand because they make synthesis with random word order. So that's all for my explanation. Hopefully, this information will give a benefit for you and increase your knowledge about aphasia. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.